Welcome back, Officers Republic. It's your course on World Police Chief APGAINS. Yes, I'm back. I know, you missed me. I was just, just flying around doing stuff. Okay, so today we're talking about the 5 best solo characters. Now, of course, these are non-GLs because, like, if you're facing a Gear 8 Phoenix squad, sure, you could go in with a Relic 45 Sith Eternal Emperor and probably win, I don't know. But these are going to be our 5 solo characters I think you guys should consider. And I actually have a interesting take on the increased viability of solo characters relative to the grub. All right, I'm not going to give you my fucking PhD SWGOH dissertation, but I think solo characters are a lot more viable now than they were, say, 3 years ago. Believe it or not. Even with the advent of the backbone team kind of completely reshaping the GAC meta, more so than almost anything. I don't think anyone thinks these are not obvious solo characters, so I'm not going to like spend any time being like, what an Wampa, such an underrated character. No, I'm just going to kind of explain context for when and why you should use characters, because even I don't have Enfi's Nest, and Enfi's Nest is a weird thing for me, because I never bought into the hype early, because you could kind of plan your GAC defenses way back in the day around the very common solo characters that existed and that people like to use, and they never really played a huge role. But now with the advent of the backbone team, there is a large argument for an early Enfi's Nest to solo things like the occasional CLS Padme, just whatever you can get, max banners, one chick. I almost said one dude. Sorry, I know it's a woman. There is a lot of early game value to be extracted, and then transitioning into the mid and end game, going onto that dash, like, Vandor, Nest, Hondo, L3, or IG-11, depending on kind of what your squad looks like. She transitions well into the mid and end game, so not a terrible investment early. Malik is pretty obvious. I usually Malik solo, like, Padme teams for the most part. It's kind of like you go in, you full auto, and he just sucks everyone off. Sometimes you got to make sure that you suck Padme off first, or you gotta selectively suck to begin. But at a certain point, if he has enough tenacity, they can never land a stun or a healing immunity on him, and he can just destroy them. But his sucking kind of applies everywhere. Obviously, a fantastic character. It's kind of just like, if you take the Darth Revan team on offense, you are likely going to keep him to solo. If you place him on defense, with or without Malgus, obviously, early game, you're not going to have Malgus, late game, you will. He works very well just to make that team extra annoying. There's an extra taunt, there's an extra 100% health reduction. He has potential to shock and stun people. He has good utility, fantastic. He kind of has to be on the team. In 3v3, he gets a lot more valuable, because with or without Malgus, you very frequently find yourself not using Malik with the Darth Revan team, and that's where I think he excels in that 3v3 meta, but he does have some flex solo viability in 5v5 as well. Darth Vader is a pretty obvious one. First relic for Zeta, you guys should all apply no matter what you're farming. What can't he solo in the early game, to be honest? Don't take in a Gear 12 1 Zeta Darth Vader versus like a full Relic 7 Jabba team. You're going to be a little bit disappointed in yourself. But if you come into basically any auxiliary team, frequently you're going against some sort of Jedi or Geos combination, or even if you're way stronger, you can go in with a CLS. Well, I guess you get stunned against CLS. What I would do is I would take Darth Vader and not solo, but I would bring in my like Gear 6, like 4-star Shore Trooper to pre-taunt, and a bunch of other like random low Empire characters who were going to die. So I wasn't getting the banners of a solo, but I was getting the efficiency of a solo, if that makes sense. Maybe just pretend like I didn't say that. But I would do that, and then like just pray to God that Han Solo would stun anyone other than Darth Vader, and then Darth Vader just goes in and destroys everyone in one shot. Depending on the relics, of course. If they're also comparable relic levels, you're going to get fucking destroyed, and that's not a great idea. But back in ye olden early days of money-based matchmaking, when I was getting absolutely railed by people with way more stuff than me, and I didn't have GLs, and I didn't have any of the good stuff, came in clutch and gives you an extra layer of flexibility. And he's never going to be bad. Like, even to this day, God rest his soul, he lives peacefully on my Dr. Aphra team and absolutely destroys people, and I get great value. And he's just so beautiful. Wamper. No explanation needed. One thing I will say, and something that this is a do as I say, not as I do it, Do what I tell you to do, but don't do what I'm doing. Don't just leave him at 3. I oftentimes find myself going in and like having great solo value against a CLS or like C's or full Grievous teams or just whatever I happen to be soloing. And I get to the point where like it's an easy win, and then like I just need like one extra hit to survive, and then his like natural like his AoE that gives him protection up, or his health steal that he has naturally, or with any Datacron you happen to have that gives you extra health steal. I always find myself like one hit away from like the most satisfying solo ever. So please take him to 5, or give him better mods or Zetas. I didn't have his Zetas, or like I honestly was missing mods on him for the longest time. I didn't realize because I never clicked on him. But when I finish Leia, I'm definitely taking him to 5, maybe 7, because you're gonna get great value out of him. I mean, unless you're in Kyber 1 and you're 12 million GP, you have other problems. You're always gonna find something that Wampa can solo, and it's gonna be so satisfying. And the banners are gonna be good, and it's gonna be so beautiful. But don't be like APGAINS. Make sure he can actually survive hits. Even at 3, I get some satisfying Sith Eternal Emperor solos. More so in 3v3 than 5v5, obviously, because he's... I mean, after a certain point, when your C has like fucking 4 other R7 Sith next to him, you know, your Relic 3 Wampa no longer applicable there. But when I was in the mid-game, and even recently, you occasionally see like a really weirdly shitty C on defense, and you know, it gives you an extra little bit of wiggle room. And Savage kind of like Enfy's Nest, probably has more value early than late as a solo character, but transitions very, very well into the mid game and into the end game. Just like Enfy's Nest kind of slides into the Backbone Scoundrels team, Savage Opress slides into the Backbone Shreya team once the Omicron's replied. I don't think there's much to say there. Another character where, like, I didn't have this for, like, I don't know, the first... Has it been a year? Has Savage been out for a year? I don't even know how long Savage has been out, but I didn't have it for the longest time. And I just finally found myself thinking, like, 1, I need a boost to Backbone teams, but 2, I was kind of missing another solo character. He goes on defense for me. I've kind of passed the point at 7 million where I can use him for his solo viability. But if you're 1, 2, 3, 4 million GP and you don't have a Nest, you don't have a Savage, and you know maybe you're struggling a little bit on offense because you have a good strong core and Backbone defensive team, maybe a GL ship, and you're needing some extra solo viability, it's not too late to pick up a Savage or Enfy's Nest. And then eventually, as you hit 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 million GP, transitioning them to defense or offense on their respective Backbone teams and kind of retaining a lot of that value. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, I love you. And I'll see you later. Oh, watch this. Quick update on the work contest for a number of meetings held equal to fun, amazing vacation that APGAINS very much is in need of because he's been very sad. I'm in second place. I'm close. I need your help. So if you haven't already met with the old APGAINS, click this link right here really quickly. 30 minutes on the calendar. You don't really got to do much. I can boost my numbers and hopefully get this nice villa vacation in the Alps of northern Italy, or I actually don't even know what part of Italy it's going to be, but I need a vacation and you can help me, and that would be awesome. Thank you. Bye-bye.